Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another video. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. Happiness is a subject that many philosophers have discussed since ancient times. Plato, for example, talked a lot about happiness. In his opinion, happiness was a state of well-being, a strong sense of self-fulfillment. Aristotle was probably most prominently associated with discussing happiness. For him, happiness was the central purpose of human life, and a goal in itself. Thomas Jefferson, who was the author of the Declaration of Independence, declared that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness were the most cherished of human rights. Different philosophers also had different opinions about how to achieve happiness. Plato said it could only be achieved by living a life of moral virtue, wisdom, and self-discipline. Aristotle said it was the reward of an active life. Sigmund Freud, the famous German psychologist, linked it with love. For Freud, a satisfactory love relationship was the primary source of happiness. Today, I want to take a look at the subject of happiness as well, not from a philosophical point of view, but from an empirical point of view. In other words, I will discuss what happiness is all about for us ordinary people, how we can measure and value happiness, and how we can achieve happiness in everyday life. First and foremost, what is happiness in practical terms? In everyday life, we use the term happiness to refer to the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being, together with a sense that our life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. But this definition raises another question. How do you know that someone is happy? That is, how do you measure happiness? Different people may have different answers. But my answer is simple. You ask them the question. Better yet, you can do surveys, such as questionnaires. A lot of researchers, including myself as a sociology and philosophy professor, have done lots of surveys. By the way, I used to do a small-scale survey with my sociology students almost every semester. Of course, surveys have been done worldwide. Responses vary from place to place, from culture to culture. Here in America, for example, 75% of adults rate themselves as happy, according to a study in 2000. This is similar to my research surveys with my students on college campus. One important point which these surveys showed is that people who are happy tend to have cheerful moods, high self-esteem, a sense of personal control, more memories of positive as opposed to negative events, and optimism about the future. Research also shows that happiness often brings about successful life outcomes in terms of marriage, friendship, health, income, and work performance. Happy people tend to live longer as well. Secondly, what are the things that make people happy? Well, you probably don't need surveys to answer this question. We all know that we become happy when we win a big game, fall in love, land a great job, or make a lot of money. On the contrary, we feel that the world seems gloomy when we lose, fall out of love, or suffer a personal tragedy or financial setback. For some people, having pets brings them happiness. For others, having more sleep makes them happy. City people are happier when they live near green spaces where there are parks, trees, and other greenery. We know that people are most happy on Fridays and Saturdays, and least happy on Mondays. It's important to note that social and cultural factors also influence how we think about happiness. Researchers have found that people from cultures that embrace more collectivist ideals, such as those people from Asian cultures, think about happiness more in terms of harmony and contentment, while more individualistic-minded people connect it to personal feelings of exuberance and joy. Thirdly, there is another question to be answered. What determines our long-term satisfaction, and why some of us are happier than others? Some people may believe that a person becomes less happy as he or she gets older. But according to research, the feeling of happiness has little to do with demographic factors such as age, sex, racial and ethnic background, or education level, or physical attractiveness. Generally speaking, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans are as happy as white Americans. Most sociologists agree that there are three key predictors of happiness. Number one, social relationships. People with an active social life, close friends, and a happy marriage are more satisfied than those who lack these intimate connections. Number two, employment status. Employed people are happier than those who are out of work, regardless of income. And number three, physical and mental health. People who are healthy are happier than those who are not. Fourthly, let's take a look at an age-old question. Does money buy happiness? To some extent, yes, but the evidence is more complex than you may think. As a general rule, the more money you have, the happier you are. However, the differences between wealthy and middle-income people are more modest. In any case, it appears that having shelter, food, safety, and security is essential for feeling happy. Poverty is not conducive to happiness. But once basic needs are met, particularly in an already prosperous society, additional increases in wealth do not raise levels of happiness. Why? Well, one reason is that our perceptions of wealth are not absolute, but relative to certain personally set standards. These standards are derived from two sources: other people and our own past. Now, let me elaborate a little bit more on this point. Sociologists and psychologists have discovered that people tend to compare themselves to others and feel contented or disappointed depending on how they fare in this comparison. Generally speaking, making upward comparison, that is, comparing to others who are better off, will spark negative feelings, while making downward comparison will trigger positive feelings. It is also natural for people to use their own recent past as a basis of comparison. Our satisfaction with the present depends on the level of success to which we are accustomed. Buying a new car or house, or getting the job you are aiming for, or a promotion, and you will surely enjoy a wave of euphoria. Before long, however, the glitter will wear off, and you will adapt to your new situation and raise your standard of comparison. Therefore, a conclusion can be made. The more money you have, the more you need to stay happy. Finally, let's take a look at an even more important question. How can you increase happiness? Different people have different ideas about happiness and therefore have different strategies for more happiness. Some people do this by taking more physical exercise. Others spend more time with happy people. Still others spend money buying a new experience rather than buying a material object. According to research, except the very low income levels, the experiences people purchase make them happier than the material objects. The main reason probably being that the memories of experiences tend to linger longer. There is still another question we need to consider. Would you be happier to spend money on others than on yourself? Sociologists and psychologists have found that for many people, spending money on others is associated with a greater happiness than spending money on yourself. Giving gifts and making others happy is a way of making yourself happy. This finding makes sense because humans are social creatures. When we spend money on the people we care about, it satisfies our basic need to belong. Well, I think that is all that I wanted to talk about in this video. But before I go, let me pose a few philosophical questions for you to consider. Number 1. Is it the case that seeking happiness actually makes you feel unhappy? Number 2. Is it not true that people who are happy tend to be content with what they already have rather than focused on what they lack? Number 3. Is it possible to be too happy? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please let me know if you would like me to make more videos to explore those questions. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.